Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a trip to the Reliquary Vault to open the Reliquary Chest with our Twilight Reliquary keys. And we are going to be doing this a grand total of 250 times. It's time to rein in those uniques. So, before we get started, I want to explain a few things about the Reliquary Vault and the Twilight Reliquary keys we're going to be using to open the chest in it. Starting off with, what the heck are they? The Reliquary Vault has existed in the game since it was launched, but has only been recently made available through Path of Exile 2's 0.2.0 update, The Dawn of the Hunt. It's a location that houses the Reliquary Chest, which we're going to be opening using our Twilight Reliquary keys. The Twilight Reliquary keys are rare drops from chests, monsters, or bosses that allow you to open up the Reliquary Vault, which guarantees you a 100% chance to get a unique item. The uniques drop as foils, meaning they are rainbow in color, and that helps set them apart from regular uniques. Uniques that were put into the chest were picked by people who purchased the Liberator of Ray class supporter pack, and both the key dropping and the items that come from the chest are weighted based on what can currently be found in the chest. As of writing this, there are 453 possible combinations for items you can get from the Reliquary chest when you open it with a key. You can technically get any unique from the vault, but there are specific ways to obtain specific items. For example, I can't just enter the Reliquary Vault and drop a Temporalis and become filthy rich beyond my wildest dreams. As a matter of fact, you can't get any boss uniques from the Reliquary chest unless you have the corresponding Reliquary boss key, which is obtained from the bosses themselves. Since there are so many, I'm not going to go over them all, but you can see them on the screen now. However, all hope of wealth beyond our wildest dreams is not lost, as we are able to obtain a few chase items, such as the Astramentus, Ryslatha's Coil, Chernobog's Pillar, Tabula Rasa, and the Headhunter Belt, among several others. All of these sell for tens of divines. Wouldn't it be ironic if I got a Headhunter Belt from these keys instead of from my 500 Heavy Belt chancing video? Ironic, but also very profitable. So the last thing to cover before we get into the video is the cost of the video. The Twilight Reliquary keys cost around 20 Exalted apiece. I bought them from anywhere as low as 18 to as high as 21, so we're going to call the average about 20. At 250, that is 5,000 Exalted. At the current ratio of 96 Exalted to 1 Divine, we're looking at a little bit under 53 Divines of cost. I'm not necessarily expecting to make that money back, but it would be nice if we did. All we need is 2 Headhunters or a Headhunter and an Astramentus, and we are in the money. Wish us the best of luck. All right, and with all that being said, we have our Reliquary key in our inventory. Let's head to the vault and see what we get as a first drop. Wish us luck. Now, I am not expecting a miracle for this video. I'm not expecting to necessarily make any money, but I am really looking forward to doing this because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and see what we get from the first drop, and then after that first one, I will catch you guys at the next update. No whammy on the first. Let's see what we got. We got the Idle Hands Section Bracers, probably one of many. I'll catch you guys in the next clip. All right, I am back. I think we've done probably about 10 to 12 of these, and I think I got my first potentially good item, the Trench Timber. And I just want to say, I want to give a shout out to the people who wrote their custom messages for these items. I forgot to explain it earlier, but when you get these items, every time you get one, whoever submitted it was allowed to submit a custom message alongside it dropping. And this particular one is very wholesome. So shout out to whoever made this. Good luck on this trench timber. Really hoping we get a good roll. Let's go see if we do. We're looking for hopefully +3 to minions. And survey says we got +2. Oh no, it can only go to +2. So that actually is a best case scenario roll. 30x. We made profit on that one. Heck yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. How's it going? We have just completed the 25th Twilight Reliquary key, and we have what you currently see in the tab. Some notable items include the Trench Timber, which you probably saw a clip of just prior, but that's about it. We don't really have anything else notable thus far. We do have a few duplicates. We have 2 of the 3 Dragons masks, 3 of the Oaksworn shields, 2 Widow Hails, and 4 Pillar of the Cage Gods. And what's interesting about the Pillar of the Cage God is every single time it's dropped, the message has been different. And a majority of them are making fun of stat stacking in some way, shape, or form. Like they say, no attributes for you, exile, or good luck stacking, or something like that. It's been kind of funny to read those messages. So if you're someone who submitted one of those, kudos to you because I've been getting a kick out of them. But nothing notable so far. I've really enjoyed doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's like consistent loot box opening, so it's like, adrenaline gamba pumping, but I don't know. We'll see what we get continuing the next 225, and I will see you guys in the next update. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the 50 Twilight Reliquary Keys check-in. I have been running these for the last hour or so. They take about a minute apiece. With all these little phrases that pop up, I find it so interesting. The text limit, I think, was 500 characters, and some people use, all 500 of those characters, and then some people just say, like, will it be 250? Is he talking to me doing the 250? I mean, W. Dvornik, some people make these so short, and then some people make them so long. I just find it very interesting. If you're watching this portion of the video and you happen to see, in this little scroll something that you submitted, I would love to hear it. I think that's really really cool. I am a Liberator of Ray class supporter, but I did not submit something to the Reliquary Chest. Quite honestly, I didn't really investigate it at all. I wish I would have, but anyway, this is what we have for 50 so far. We are getting a pretty good collection of unique items. Some of the notables since the last check-in, the poster kiln we also got, but unfortunately it's worthless as of right now. And all these other items over here, lots of duplicates so far, and unfortunately, lots of very worthless duplicates, to be honest. I did separate these items over here, the Widowhail, Pillar the Cage God, and the Oaksworn, just because I wanted to see the race. So far, these are the top items. There are 5 of each of them, and they are neck and neck right now. And I really wanted to see which one's going to come out on top. So if you are watching this, in the comments below, which team are you? Team Oaksworn, Team Pillar the Cage God, or Team Widowhail? Personally, I am Team Widowhail. I will see you guys in the next check-in. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Ventor's Gamble. This could be some major money. Let's see what roll we get. Yeah, that's to be expected. Ladies and gentlemen, we are checking back in with 100 Twilight Reliquary Keys opened in the Twilight Reliquary Vault. As you can see, this is what we have primarily. Lots of duplicates, getting a ton of the Bloodthorns, a ton of a lot of other things too. A lot of these Briar Patch boots as well. The most notable thing that we've gotten from the last 50 or so would probably be the Black Sun Crest, and also the Ventor's Fumble here. Really really bad rolls on this guy. We also got the Everlasting Gaze, which unfortunately these rolls are completely worthless. Not even sure this amulet's worth anything this league because Spark is not really a thing anymore. But nothing overly exciting. Still no Astromentus, no Headhunter. Nothing that's we're going to sell for several divines. As far as the Great Race goes, we have the Widowhail and the Pillar the Cage God tied for first place, with the Oaksworn taking a -3 third place as of right now. So if you were betting on either of these two, you are currently in the lead. I will catch you guys at the next update. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another shot at this. Another shot. Let's see if we can get a good roll on this one. Not terrible. Maybe a few divines. It could be worse and it could be better. We got double increased rarity. We got a good decent spirit roll. We have 20 cold res, 37 lightning. We did get a minus fire, and I'm pretty sure that's going to make it decently difficult to sell, but a much better Ventor's Fumble than the last one. I'll see you in the next clip. 150, ladies and gentlemen, 150 Twilight Reliquary Keys have been consumed in the Reliquary Vault. We have a full tab of foil uniques here in the start of another one. We have 100 keys to go on the dot. That will be my next check-in, the final check-in. And if you're currently wondering about the race, we have the Widowhails in the lead. In second place, we have Pillar the Cage Gods. And a not so respectable, pretty far behind, is the Oaksworn Sigil Crest Shield. These really slowed down, which I would like to say is a good thing, but we don't really have all that good of items. We've really gotten nothing special since the last check-in. I will be honest, I saw this on the ground, the tattered robe, and I immediately read like simple robe in my mind, like the tabula rasa, and I kind of freaked out for a second, but unfortunately, this is still worthless. Nothing else notable. We are losing a lot of money at this point in time. If we get a headhunter or if we get an Atramintus, we have to do it in the next 100 keys. Wish us luck, and I will see you in the next check-in. The Ventor's Gamble must be relatively popular because this is actually the third one that I've got, and it's going to roll so incredibly well. We are going to make profit from this video. 3, 2, 1, ladies and gentlemen. We did not make profit. Oh my god. This is what disappointment looks like. That is a Yix. And even better, the person who wrote the message is calling me a big dummy. What's that for? You get my hopes up and you give me this? Come on, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. We have completed 250 Twilight Reliquary keys, and if you happen to watch that previous clip, I think that was worth a subscription, if you don't mind. It's probably the best thing that's going to come out of this video, because to be honest with you guys, we lost a ton of money. The 2 items in my inventory are the most profitable items that we currently have. This particular Ventor's Gamble, which may or may not be worth a few divines, and this Trench Timber that happened to roll decently on all the rolls, which may be worth about 30x or a little bit higher. But that's it. Everything else, all of these other uniques, including the ones in the second tab, are completely worthless. This guy sucks. Not a big fan of the Yix. It was really exciting to see a Stellar Amulet on the ground, but unfortunately it is the Yix. It is probably the worst of the 3 Stellar Amulets that I could have possibly have gotten. We didn't get any Headhunters. We got no Ryslath's Coils. We didn't get any Astramintuses, obviously, so what you see is what we got, and we managed to lose pretty much all of our money. In just a second here, I'm going to go through every single one of these items and tally up how much we got of each, and I will be back in a second with that clip with all of the numbers on one simple spreadsheet so you can see exactly what you can expect from 250 Twilight Reliquary keys. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final tally, 250 Twilight Reliquary keys, and this is the loot that you can expect. I'm sorry, this is not alphabetized or also quantitative in order. I just kind of typed them as I went through the tabs. This took me like an hour to go through to make sure that I got everything, because I had counted some things up and was missing some things. So anyway, this is what you can expect to get. Some of our heavy hitters would have been the Corpse Wade boots, also the Bloodthorn wrapped quarterstaff, and then we obviously had our 3-way race between the Widowhail, the Pillar of the Cage God, and the Oaksworn, and if you were a Widowhail better, you are a winner. We got 27 of them, aka more than 1 in 10. It felt like I was getting them constantly as I was doing this, just Widowhail after Widowhail, and some of them actually did roll decent. We have one that actually rolled 250%, which is pretty cool. I'm going to end up probably valing all of those and seeing if I can sell them if they roll over 300, so that's the goal after this video's finished. But with all this being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. If you enjoy this type of content, please feel free to leave a like, a comment, and a subscription. I greatly appreciate all of those things. If you leave a comment, if you're someone who happened to be a Liberator of Ray class donator and you submitted one of these items, please let me know. I read pretty much every single message that I got when I looted the Reliquary Chest, so I probably saw yours. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I genuinely appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully where we are making some money. Peace.